I want to read this to you because your view of reality will always come out of your mouth. Everyone else was afraid. Everyone else was giving a bad report. But here's what David said when he attacked Goliath. It tells you his worldview. 1 Samuel 17. David said to the Philistine, "You come to me with a sword, with a spear, and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand. I will strike you and take your head from you. And this day I will give the carcasses of the camp of the Philistines, the birds of the air, and the wild beasts of the earth, and all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Then all the assembly should know that the Lord does not save with the spear, sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands." So it was when the Philistine arose and came and drew near to meet David, that David hurried and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. This kid didn't have 1 ounce of fear in his body because he knew that God was with him. It comes out of your mouth. It comes out of your confession. It's the old saying, don't tell God how big your mountains are. You tell your mountains how big your God is. Don't sit around talking negative. Don't sit around rehearsing all the bad things going on in your life. You've got God with you. And when you put your eyes on God and you believe in the power of God, there'll be nothing impossible for you. But there's a 4th dimension, and David was a 4-dimensional thinker. Here's another one, fresh thinking. He had never used that we know of, David had never used a slingshot before. He'd used a knife. When the lion or bear came against one of his father's sheep, David said, I took him by the beard and I struck him with my knife and I killed him there. Why did David use a slingshot? Now listen to me. You were not going to defeat Goliath with conventional weapons. That everyone had a sword and spear, and he had a sword and spear. The only problem was his sword was a lot longer than yours, and he was going to kill you way before you ever got close to him. It was like 2 boxers, and one of them has arms 6 feet long, and the other one has arms 3 feet long. Guess who's going to win that fight? His sword was much longer than yours, and with conventional weapons, there's no way in the world you're going to get close enough to lay a hand or a sword on Goliath. And that's what all the armies of Israel knew, and that's why they couldn't do anything. But for 40 days, they never had a fresh thought until David showed up. And Saul tried to put his armor on David, and David said, no, I don't want that. But David came up with a new idea, and the new idea was this. If I go against him with a spear, it's going to put him on guard, and he's going to throw his spear at me and kill me way before I can get to him, because he's stronger than me and his sword's bigger than mine. But if I go against him with a slingshot, he's not going to take it seriously. I don't have to get close enough for him to hit me with his sword, but I can get close enough to throw a projectile at him and hit him in the forehead. And it really doesn't matter, because once the rock gets in the air, an angel's going to take it and throw it at him anyway, because God's on my side. It's not me and Goliath. It's me and God against Goliath. So if I can just get close enough to throw a projectile at him. And so sure enough, when David comes running down the hill, Goliath said, am I a dog that you come against me with sticks? And he didn't take it seriously. He got on his heels. And David got close enough and hit him right in the middle of the forehead. Fresh thinking. It's amazing. It was Albert Einstein who said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, hoping for different results. You've always done the same thing with money. It's never worked, but you keep doing the same thing with money. You've always treated people the same way. It's never worked, but you keep treating people the same way. You've always talked the same way. It's always brought back results, but you still talk the same way. It's not working. Or maybe it worked at one time, but it doesn't work anymore. That's true of a lot of things. There was a season when it was of God. There was a season when it was fresh, and it worked back then, but it's not working now. Jesus said, when the Holy Spirit comes, he'll lead you into all truth. I treated Karen the same way for years into our marriage, and it never worked. It only brought us to the brink of divorce. But I wouldn't change. You know what I thought? I thought one day she'll get it. One day she did, and she almost left me. And I read that verse one morning where it says the Holy Spirit will lead you into all truth. And that night, I prayed a prayer and said, Holy Spirit, teach me how to be a husband. He changed every thought in my head. I never treated Karen the same again. Are you ready for some fresh thinking? Are you ready to do some things you've never done before? Because he'll give you creative ideas. The best business people, the best musicians, the best artists, the best mathematicians, the best engineers, the best architects, the best in every category, the best people ought to be Christians because we have got the Spirit of truth leading us if we'll just follow him. And David was a humble guy. He shows up at the battle line and he realizes conventional weapons are not going to win this fight. I need a fresh idea. And he pulls out a slingshot and says, bingo, in Hebrew, bingo.
Thank you for watching Marriage Today with Jimmy and Karen. Support Marriage Today with your best gift and receive the series, I Am David. Experience release and freedom from the pain of your past with the life-changing book, When Life Hurts by Jimmy Evans. Visit whenlifehurtsbook.com. Follow your interests and get social by connecting with Jimmy and Karen and the Ministry of Marriage Today on Twitter. Looking for your next great book? Start reading instantly with Marriage Today's ebooks, now available online. Become a rock-solid partner today and equip yourself with the tools you need for a successful marriage. $14, $28, or $56 per month. Choose the partnership level that's right for you. Become a rock-solid partner today.